Thanks everybody for being here this morning. It's a pleasure to be with all of you and be joined by my colleagues who've done such tremendous work on something that is so critically important to the state of New Jersey. This session, we made tremendous progress to make New Jersey more affordable. Historic property tax relief, expansion of child tax credits, prescription drug assistance, and record levels of school aid. Something else that affects New Jersey families at one time or another is the availability of affordable housing. For decades, our state has struggled to provide enough affordable housing options for residents. We've already allocated significant resources for housing this session, and now we'll truly turn a corner. In the legislature, we are moving forward with a comprehensive package of legislation designed to address some of the most stubborn obstacles to building more affordable housing. We've consulted with municipal leaders, with builders, lenders, and advocates to develop an approach that will increase the inventory of affordable housing and hopefully reduce the burdens and delays that all parties have faced for so long. I want to especially thank the sponsor of this, Assemblywoman Lopez, who's with us, and Senator Singleton for their work on this. The legislative package will include incentives to build new housing, including tax relief for purchases of building supplies, and common sense ideas like rewarding sweat equity for residents who put it into their homes. These investments will pay dividends for generations to come. We'll also streamline the current system and find new ways to reach consensus on how to meet housing needs fairly in the communities and throughout the state. Our cities, suburbs, and rural communities will have all tried to reconcile this issue, usually with sort of messy, costly legal battles and confusing mandates as a result. We can do a lot better, working with the mayors and councils to meet our constitutional obligation and to help everyone in each town thrive. Not to mention that everyday hardworking New Jersey families who are caught in the middle just hoping to find a place that's safe to move into can afford housing in the communities that they love. For almost 10 years, too much of New Jersey's housing policy has been left to courts without proper state guidance or support, therefore delaying substantive progress. The Council of Affordable Housing couldn't meet its obligations to ensure access while also balancing the needs of municipalities to plan for their future. But today that changes. Today we're introducing a landmark bill that will abolish COA and streamline the process for municipalities. I'm very proud to partner with my district mate, as I said, Assemblywoman and our Housing Chair Committee Chairwoman Yvonne Lopez and Senator Singleton and the chairman in the Senate. She's put in, Yvonne has, and I'll say this with all great respect to Troy, I'll let Senator Scutari say nice things about you, but I've had the privilege of working now with Yvonne for 6 years, and she put in years working with all the stakeholders on this. She has a depth of knowledge just as important to the issue. She's patient and determined. I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Senate President Scutari, to say a few words. Senate President.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I didn't mute us, right? Can you hear me? First, I do want to thank the sponsors, Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez and Senator Troy Singleton, and more particularly, Senator Singleton's long been a champion of this very piece of legislation. He's put in a lot of time and effort. He enjoys the skills of a staffer and the title of senator, so couldn't have a better person working on some complex pieces of legislation. It's long been something he's talked to me about since he's been in leadership and even before, so I want to congratulate him, thank him for all the efforts in the very complicated area of the law. And I just want to echo a couple of the comments that the Speaker made. Affordability has been the cornerstone of these past 2 years since I became Senate President and I joined the Speaker in leadership. And also with our caucus. Affordability for the state of New Jersey has been on our number 1, number 2, and number 3 priorities for this year. And this goes along with that. Affordability for housing for folks that wouldn't otherwise afford it. We've already put our money where our mouth is, devoted more than $600 million to affordable housing efforts in the most recent budgets. But I think most importantly that this bill will put together a mechanism that's functional. The Council on Affordable Housing was challenged, didn't seem to work. The courts have now been leading this effort. And I think we're looking to marry those efforts into a process that's going to work better for all those involved, municipalities, builders, and most importantly, the people that need places to live. Through the efforts of Senator Singleton and and Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez. I really appreciate the time and effort they put into this topic, because without their efforts, this would not be happening. So with that, I want to just say congratulations to Senator Singleton for everything he's done on this bill. Done a great job, Troy, and look forward to working out the final details on this and getting it moving. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senate President. Now let's hear from the sponsors of the bills, Assemblywoman Lopez.
Thank you, Speaker, for that wonderful introduction, and you as well, Senate President Scutari. Thank you so much. I'm glad to join you this morning to unveil what I believe will be the next step in helping address the affordability of our state. One of the very first hearings in the Housing Committee focused on affordable housing, and more specifically, the increased need for more affordable properties throughout New Jersey and for a more structured process ahead of the fourth round of municipal affordable housing obligations. Creating affordable housing is integral to the well-being and longevity of our residents, and in this endeavor, our municipal partners are incredibly important. Building upon the comments provided during that hearing, my staff and I worked on creating a process that learns from previous rounds and lays out a uniform, transparent, and efficient plan for municipalities to meet their fair share obligations. When discussing previous rounds, we know that the Council on Affordable Housing did not work. Although the current cordless system increased production, it has also resulted in a process that has been costly and lengthy for our municipal partners. Moving forward, this bill offers a clear and comprehensive pathway towards meeting our shared housing goals. Led and enforced by the Administrative Office of the Courts through the creation of an affordable housing dispute resolution program, as well as assigned county-level housing judges, the bill creates a 2-year timeline for municipalities with the goal of having all final fair share plans and housing elements adopted by January 31st of 2026. The process provides municipalities with clear timeframes to develop and settle both their municipal obligations and ultimate plans, while also providing other actors the opportunity to give input and address disagreements with resolution. To avoid the debate that occurred in the prior rounds regarding methodology, the bill creates a consensus statutory formula based on the Jacobson decision for all parties to adhere to that will significantly improve the efficiency of the process and provide municipalities with a level of certainty about the size of their obligation. While the bill addresses much more, its goal of striking a balance between the needs of municipalities and the increased need for affordable housing production is clear. We cannot afford to create more confusion in the next round, and it is my hope with this legislation we enter the fourth round with a clear plan of action. I believe the fourth round will be our most productive round, yet ensuring that every town meets its fair share and improves the lives of our residents. We want people to stay here in New Jersey, and with this process as a tool, we will create more affordable housing opportunities and increase affordability for all. I want to thank everyone for being on this Zoom call today, and thank you, Speaker, and thank you, Senate President, for being part of this conversation. And I'll move it on to Senator Singleton.
Good morning, all, and thank you, Yvonne, and this incredible leadership team of Senate President Scutari and Speaker Coughlin, who've consistently and constantly wanted to make affordability a hallmark of our legislative agenda here in Trenton. For far too many people, the American dream of homeownership, which represents generational wealth, has been more fantasy than reality. Our objective here today is to bring that full circle so that everyone, no matter where they live, no matter where they come from, can find a home here in the state of New Jersey. It's something I've worked diligently and tirelessly on in my career here in the legislature, and I'm grateful that my colleagues have remained steadfast and focused on this critical issue. The legislation we're introducing today, as Yvonne said, will codify years of legal precedents and ensure New Jersey's affordable housing system is insulated from changes in leadership or an effort to undermine equitable access. We've seen the success of this program since the court ruled in 2015. And while we are still roughly 200,000 units short of the needed number of affordable housing units, the state has doubled our supply in the last 8 years, going from under 50,000 affordable units to nearly 100,000 units statewide. Clearly, the need remains high, but it is our hope that through this legislation and the holistic approach it represents, that we can begin to shrink that gap and in turn provide more affordable housing for all residents. The legislation we will introduce today looks at a regional approach in appointing special masters in the North, South, and Central regions, ensuring they have an understanding of the unique needs of their areas. Most importantly, it will streamline the process by requiring the special master to determine regional need and calculate the obligation for each municipality. As Yvonne said, and I want to echo the work that she has put in, as being a helpful ear to sort of bring people together for this conversation. It's been instrumental in bringing us here today, and in the continued partnership between the legislative majorities in the Assembly and Senate to ensure that we create this pathway to affordable housing. This will be far more efficient, this process, providing a number up front rather than the current practice where municipalities present a plan and then work collaboratively with organizations and the courts to determine if it meets their constitutional obligation. There are many barriers to the development of affordable housing, and while this will not address them all, it will make the process more streamlined and help towns to ensure that they are in compliance with the constitutional obligations established by the courts and ensure that New Jersey remains a great place for everyone to call home. Thank you.